The natural world runs on a closed loop, a living system of growth, death, and rejuvenation. It's worked for billions of years, but humans have adopted a linear approach. We take, make, and dispose, and we're getting worse at it. Remember when you would take your TV to get repaired if it was broken? Now we just buy a new one. A new phone comes out, so we ditch the old one. Each time we do this, we're eating into a finite supply of resources and creating literal mountains of waste. The idea of a circular economy is to close this loop so that used items don't end up in landfill. They actually form the building blocks of new products. The question is, can Australia close the loop? The circular economy is more than just a fancy way to describe recycling.
Well, circular economy is really all about keeping our materials in our economy for as long as possible, whether it moves from one form to another form. But the most important thing is we're seeing materials as renewable resources. We need to not just reduce, reuse, recycle, but we need to add that fourth R of reform.
Take coffee cups, one of the most obvious examples of our throwaway culture. They are surprisingly complicated to recycle because of how they're made. But a circular economy is able to turn this waste into a valuable resource. Here, the coffee cups have been reformed into a variety of useful materials. Electronics are another example of a product that can't just be thrown in the recycling bin. There are so many components in our computers and smartphones that it takes a sophisticated system of micro-recycling to reuse them. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't do it. In fact, experts say there's a potential for a huge industry in Australia in reusing e-waste.
But recycling is not just about us doing that thing where we take plastics or glass into our yellow bins. It's so much more than that because our products are so sophisticated. You can almost imagine that recycling was in fact aligning with manufacturing. And if we could think about circular economy and the whole ability to transform our materials into renewable materials, and therefore they become actually resources that become part of manufacturing products, then it's a whole new way of thinking about recycling and reforming.
Closing the loop on our wasteful use of products could help both the environment and the economy. The Morrison government recently promised $190 million to improve recycling.
We're stepping up, and I think that's absolutely brilliant.
Experts say this is a step in the right direction, but it's not enough. What's needed is a massive boost in the amount of recycled material that Australians buy. We can all play a part in that. But the big change would come if the packaging industry and governments were required by law to support recycled material and not buy virgin products.
To me, I feel really, really optimistic about uncovering and harnessing a whole new green revolution that I think we're sitting at the cusp of. And that's really where I think the conversation suddenly becomes much, much more exciting in terms of creating value. What does it mean to truly deliver a win-win outcome for our environment and for our economy?